each and every day. Boxes always pay, 'cause I'll take you to where the sun shines, loading you along with my crew. We'll head into space and ship any place that's cargo. Packed up nice and tight, commerce feels so right, transporting you to where the stars shine, moving you the way that I do. We'll always see it through, our credit will accrue, my cargo and I will find you.
So how are we all cargoing today? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Round Table Star Citizen Talk Show, episode number 444. 444.
Wait, wasn't 444 last time?
No, that was 443.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. 444.
We're 4 for 4. 4 for 4. Yeah.
4. No, 4.
4 for 4.
When'd you add that song? Why? It's beautiful. It's
Derek, you're absolutely spot on.
It's
I cringe
about
every time you hear it.
It's about your wonderful cargo business in Star Citizen. It's like your empire.
Yeah, it's really appropriate to the state of the current games, since the 24
Derpy?
build has been derpy, to say the least. It's really wow. I tried
Yeah.
to continue my bunch of screenshots for the wiki. I'm currently doing the hover bikes because of a huge backlog. Having the ability to spawn them now in the hangars is really handy. But the problem is that I'm getting now lags from the server of around 250 milliseconds, which roughly turns out to be 1 or
Quarter
2
of a
frames
second.
per second. It's just absolutely horrendous right now, and I just could not do anything at all today. It really is the worst I've seen. Now they'll probably do something tomorrow. Weekends are always bad time for developers to fix the issue.
It's not necessarily true right now. It
well,
seems like they are working weekends.
well, no, they are working
with-
weekends. Well, okay, you're right.
To,
I
to,
badly- I
to put
badly
out
worded it.
to put out updates.
But they're solely concentrating on future builds, and the
4.0.
live has been sacrificed. At the moment.
No. They're
Yes.
still they've placed a lot of hot fixes onto the live server, that as well as they can. The actual 2.24.3, they combined those hot fixes with other patches and stuff that they were not able to implement on live.
Mm.
They're kind of working on the next build, which is the .3.
Well, actually,
No, they pulled that in, didn't they?
No,
they're still working on it.
No, still working on it, but they're working on an A version of the 0.2 patch.
But they're not putting
that was
it
on the
into the .2 patch, which is the .2 right now is where everybody's on, and they're struggling because it's a bad patch.
It's a bad patch.
People
really
are
is.
having issues.
Yeah.
I know, matter of fact, right now they're doing a test. They just started a test for everybody to do the event on the .3, which, by the way, .3 is open to everybody. It is an open patch. I guess they want to make sure that works before they even consider pushing to live, because that's going to be a problem when they do that.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a
not on
big
the
risk they're
PTO right
taking.
now, though.
No, but it's a big risk they're taking with the 0.3 patch by trying to bring out that event as well as.
But they do that all the time.
Well, this seems to be a bigger event than normal. This seems to be a
Well,
Stanton-wide event rather than an area specific.
It's two events combined together, right? It's basically what do you call it? Xenothreat and Blockade Runner. So it's a 3-tiered event, which is similar to Overdrive, right? You got 3 steps. So the first one is a ground assault at one of the big landing facilities. And the second one is the Blockade Runner, grabbing supplies or whatever. And then the third one is dealing with the Idrises. But it's not Xenothreat this time. It's another organization. Like fucking these criminal organizations, man.
Playtest. Yeah, there it is.
They get their hands on a whole lot of fucking Idrises, I gotta say.
Yeah, they must get them on some kind of carousel.
They I bet you there's like, you know how in the U.S. they have the mothball airfield.
Yeah.
What?
Where they have that. So in the U.S. they have a huge mothball airfield where they put all the planes, all the military planes
that are overstocked, if you want to call it that, or oversupplied.
Overstocked, or they're just retired.
Well, I don't think. Well, there's a few retired, but they do have a lot of. I don't know, say it to a back.
Well, they don't destroy them.
Extra. No, they don't.
They use them as replacement parts.
As
parts, but also as just in case things ever ramp up.
Oh yeah, they can ramp them up, and the same thing with ships. They have a whole bunch of military ships that they have in a mothball fleet somewhere. That they're kind of like they're there for either spare parts or they're there for just in case. So anyway, that's what I'm thinking they're doing in Pyro. There's got to be a fucking mothball, the boneyards. Yes, thank you.
Boneyard, that's the word.
There's got to be a freaking boneyards in Pyro somewhere where they're going in and they're stealing all these fucking Idrises.
Actually, that would be super cool if they had something like that.
You know what?
And you come across it, and then you can go through yourself.
They're going to, what is it? Castle? What's that planet? That system we're getting next?
Yeah. Castra.
The Castra.
That's a military UAE system.
So there's probably a boneyard somewhere in Castra. They're going over there and they're stealing all these fucking Idrises from them and bring them into Pyro.
That'd be a great gameplay in its own right. That if you have something like that, and let's say there is good guy security there, and you have to try to infiltrate it without getting caught. You can get spare parts and possibly on the cheap, because you might even go through third-party salespeople who do that, and you buy them off slightly cheaper. You might have to do a little bit of hokey pokery to get them up to scratch or something like that. That'd be nice.
The U.S. sells. They've done it in the past. They sell an aircraft carrier for $1. And what they do is they sell it to what is it? It's some kind of metal scrapper. And they sell it to them for $1, and then those guys take it and they scrap it down and get whatever they can for the material.
Yeah, you see a lot of
because
them.
the military doesn't have the resources to do that. They don't want to do that.
No,
right? Because it's going to cost them, tons and tons of money.
Exactly,
so they figure
and moving it and all that. Yeah, it's no point. Yep. Get them to do it. Yeah,
So
you see them. I think India is huge for, say, old cargo ships. They've whole beaches dedicated to beaching the ships, and then you see them cutting them down. It's
and then they're cutting them all up and shit. Yep. So now what's his name? Who's the story writer?
Haddock.
Yeah. So David, if you ever listen to this episode, we just gave you the backstory for how these people get the Idrises.
Yeah.
Okay, so byline maybe you can if you want to, but we'll just
Yeah.
keep it under the radar. Sneak it. You know what? Sneak us each an Idris on the side there.
Oh, which, yeah.
Oh,
And
no.
we're good. We're good. The guy, they got plenty of them. Just slide one over.
Well,
It's
it
all
doesn't
good.
cost them anything, so
Doesn't cost anything, right?
no, yeah.
It's all in the boneyards. It's a
In fact,
mothball ship.
in fact, it will cost you a lot because it
Yeah.
costs a lot to run. But
Exactly. Exactly.
So point 3 is also, it looks like they're also considering that the IAE patch though, right? Because they're actually saying
Yes.
it does
that
not
is-
have the IAE ships available. We're doing that in a later 24.3
well,
days
all
before
the
release.
all the banners and flags and stuff are in the files anyway.
Are
So
they? Oh, yeah.
yeah.
So that brings up a good point. Are they going to drop this as soon as it's stable enough to get everybody on live working?
They
And
seem to
then
be.
they'll
Well,
go
that-
back. Then they'll go to a .A or .B or whatever
Well,
to get the rest of IAE working.
Well, what I see is the A is to try to do some hot fixes at their end. I'm guessing that's what's causing the major lag issues we're seeing right now in live. But I think 3 is definitely seems to be. They're hinting that it's stable enough to go live pretty soon, but they're
Good.
holding off. I think closer to IAE. And
Yeah, but that's
probably-
stupid because IAE is another fucking 2 weeks.
Well, this is where they probably have a good opportunity to hone in on safe standing and get that as good as possible.
but the
So
community's raging, man.
I know it's raging.
Are they going to
but
run this at the same time?
Is it worth putting? See, I know I'm giving out about live, but is it worth that we just allow them to step back from the game for a couple of weeks? We can do that and allow them to come out with a more stable 0.3 build at the sacrifice of the current 0.2.
You know me. I'm like, I don't give a shit one way or another. I know how to walk away
Well,
when the
as
shit
I
ain't
said-
working.
Well, as I said to start, I'm desperate to do a whole lot of images. I have a big backlog. I mean, I have hundreds of paints still to do for the wiki.
Oh, you mean
I'm
all the
trying
ones you lost?
No, I lost 15, I think, in total last week, due to the game being buggy. But I know I'll get that back hopefully soon. But I'm willing to stand back and allow them to concentrate on the 0.3 patch. The community, I think, as a whole, need to go away for a few weeks anyway. They're complaining too much.
It would be good. They're too worked up over
Well, not all of them. I'm quite I'm happy to see a lot of Reddit posts given out about the Wingen and saying we need to be realistic and all that. So they're popping up. Yeah. So the problem is that it's always the case of the ones who shout the loudest get heard the most, and that does not reflect, I think, the attitude of the whole community. Yes, we're all frustrated, but we need to be realistic here. Wingen is not going to speed up the process. So why whinge so much? Just stand back. There are plenty of other games out there to play. Go and play them.
Just come back in like 30 years and
Oh, how true that is. I yeah, okay.
It's true.
Yeah. Except me in the left had a goatee and me in the right has a goatee. But yeah, that's me. Yeah, how stressful the game can make you.
Only if
But
you let it.
Well,
Only if you let it. Remember, it's just a game. An expensive one to most people or some people, but it's just a game.
But it's my life. I put so much effort into
Oh,
it.
I mean, if you want to make it
can't
your
play
life,
anything
okay,
else.
but
I can't play anything else. The tens of thousands of other games, they're not the same. Great choice of games out there, and you won't go near them. Just go play some other game, please.
But there's only one game.
Well, some streamers will refuse to go to any other games, which I find sad.
They're way too
Well,
scared to lose audience.
there's a rationale behind that,
Why?
and that is that variety streamers only succeed if they're like the top 1%. Most streamers have their fan base based on the game that they play. And if they go play something else, gamers are finicky, to say the least. And they will dump you in a fucking heartbeat if you play something other than what they like.
No.
So,
I've seen...
unless you're and I'm going to be a sexist here, unless you're a woman with boobies, okay, you start streaming something else, you lose a lot of your following.
I don't
And
know.
so they don't want to stream something else because they don't want to lose their following, because a lot of them are trying to use streaming as their main income so that they don't have to work a real job, even though having to stream X
you
number of
have to
hours a day
diversify
is
them in that
fucking
case.
a real job.
Unless
Huh?
you're genuinely good at that game, you have to diversify when it comes to stream.
No, as long as you can keep your fan base entertained, which is what they're there for, you don't have to be good. Actually, some people probably like watching people because they suck. So again, most streamers are not going to diversify by much if they're fearful for losing their followers and not being able to make money.
It's exactly how I lost my 15 pints. That stupid error. It never recovered, and therefore I lost my box on the freight elevator when it occurred.
And remember, we used to not get that. We used to just go 30K. Then you'd lose everything. This gives you a little tiny chance of reclaiming your stuff. Not always. We've had it worse.
We've had it worse. You're right.
We've had it worse.
Had a lot worse.
All right. So let's talk about some of the current drama.
Drama? Never. God. Is there ever a bloody week without drama?
No, because someone always finds something new to bitch about.
Do you feel sorry for CAG at the current state? Like this, for example.
It's I will say that some of the situations they get themselves into is their own fault, and I don't know if it's because they're just naive or they're just trying to do the best that they can do, and not succeed, or it's just the society, the community being a bunch of whiny streamers. Whiny gamers.
It's right now. This meme was so perfect because it is a perfect storm for CIG. Spectrum, which has always been oddly hostile. I've never liked that cesspool. The subreddit is kind of okay. But when Star Citizen refunds recently started jumping on the bandwagon, I went, "Oh, good God, no, not again!"
Yeah, the article that came out from yet again,
massively OP. Yeah,
massively OP.
Yeah, they really have a hard on jumping on against Star Citizen.
Who does?
Massively OP.
Oh yeah, they're one of those that it's a scam. Not our money back. Get your money back. All that shit.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah. So we have to take this with a pinch of salt because we don't know if this is true or not. This is the modern
just based on
world.
The one guy.
And we have
is
to.
a refunder.
We don't know if this is true or not, but I don't know. Is this would this be possible? Would
What
CIG,
to be forced an NDA?
yeah, to get refund?
It's entirely within their legal right.
Is it?
Well, remember, it's like you sign an agreement to say no refunds, right? So if they're willing to give you a refund, they don't necessarily want everybody to come to them with the same excuse or reasoning to say, I want a refund just to get their money back, kind of thing, right? Because when you start doing that, then you're really hitting the bottom line because it's money already spent.
Does this
Mm.
guy
You
live
know?
in the US then or something?
I don't know. I
I
mean,
don't
it
think
could be
so.
anything, but they are within their right. Every company is within their right to ask for an NDA on some things, not everything.
Now, what they did point out correctly here is that, particularly in the EU, it's against EU law. So I am curious. It's a good and important question. Where are they from? But normally here, the consumer would have protection against this. But I'm trying to think what scenario would, give CIG this, because, as you say, there's no refunds allowed. I think you do have the usual 30-day. I think you're legally allowed 30 days.
Mhm.
But after that, you get no refund. So I think CIG only do it in certain scenarios.
Yeah, and it's
Um,
usually having to deal with some kind of hardship.
yeah.
You know,
They're
uh,
sympathetic in that way. Yeah.
so it's like, and the real thing is like, who cares if they got the money back?
Right.
It's either for a good reason or a bad reason. But
So,
it's like,
but so this. So I find this kind of suspicious. The person said no, I refuse to sign an NDA. Why should I sign an NDA? And I find that suspicious because most people would say, screw it, it's only an NDA. I'm going to get my money back, which is the main purpose.
Yeah, if you want to take your hands off of this whole thing, then what does it matter if you can or cannot talk about it if you want
Mm.
it gone out of
Um,
your life? Then
Now, the
yeah,
person,
why not?
now it might be that this person is, sticking to their principles and saying, no, I don't have to. Why should I do that? And they did say they're going to consult it with their legal advice or counsel or whatever.
right, and
Um,
their legal counsel will probably tell them they don't have to give you shit.
but that whole,
So maybe you want to sign this NDA.
but this thing is suspicious. I don't know.
I don't. Again,
My spider senses are tingling here with this.
considering who the source is, they're deliberately going out of
Yeah,
their way
well,
because they don't like
Mm,
Star Citizen or
yeah.
Chris Roberts or whatever.
Mm.
I'm not giving it any validity or whatever. I'm like, whatever.
Overpromise, underdeliver. Well, see, the problem, Derek, is that I think most game companies, as well as other software companies, are like that. You always overpromise because you have to try to push your staff when you're creating that product, and so undelivering is a norm, really.
No
It's
Man's
just
Sky. Case in point.
it's just the way
Cyberpunk.
it is.
Case in point.
There's no book you can pull off a shelf saying this is exactly how to do it. You have to learn and invent along the way, and unfortunately, moments like now are part and parcel.
It's just a bunch of entitled little babies.
And I wouldn't say that. Many of us have backed this for a while, and it's quite frustrating that many of us were single and now we have married and a couple of kids and still no sign of the end product, really.
Yep.
So it is frustrating. There's no doubt about it. What we need to do is learn to manage our expectations a bit better. I think that whinging is not going to speed up the process. I can't emphasize that enough. We can complain all we want, and we can complain at a level that will drive everybody crazy, but it still will not speed up the process. So could have been done better? Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. But that's hindsight. And unfortunately, if you're good at hindsight, buy some lotto tickets. But yeah, what can you do? You just have to shrug your shoulders. And the best thing to do really is just to step away and play other games or do something else. There's a lovely world out there. Go outside and see it. Yeah. Talking about whinging.
Okay.
Talk about whinging.
Oh,
4.0.
Roadmap roundup when it dropped.
so I
shit.
suppose this produced another whinge spike. Not surprised, to be honest with you. People were surprised at my reaction at not having any reaction. I wasn't surprised. We've had this happen in the past, and it will happen again. I prefer to have a stable build than a buggy build full of stuff that doesn't work properly. So if it's not ready, it's not ready. Just move on. Yeah, it's what can you do?
Yep.
What can you do?
All right, so there's Polaris. People are excited about the Polaris, though.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll go back to the top. Wait. Don't go just nilly-willy. Go back to the top.
The following cards have been added to the Alpha 324
Go to
column
the
in
top.
releasing.
You're skipping 1.0. There we
Yeah,
go.
that's just
Okay,
a dumb story
so-
about. Okay, we're excited
No,
to
Well, no,
introduce.
they actually put 1.0 on the roadmap.
Yeah, I know.
We'll come back to 1.0. We'll deal with the next build and
there's
4.
there's not much to really talk about. It's just that they put it on the roadmap. It's actually quite silly.
Well, it's not really. I think it's good for us to have written confirmation of their objectives.
Okay.
I prefer to see it there than not, and we can see what the markers are, what the goals are. Later on, they'll add stuff, they'll take stuff away. That's the way it's always been. But I prefer to see it down in text. So, but that's in the distance. So that's 2026. At least we got an indication that it will be in 2026. Hopefully, touch wood. But let's concentrate, I think, on the next build and 4.0, which is where the real whinging came up in. So, we're getting the Max, the Polaris.
We're getting the Max and the Polaris with in IAE.
No, that's for the next one. Hang on. Okay. Oh, and the 2 Hornets.
So we got the
getting
2 Hornets. Yep. So this is the Hornet Ghost. Oh, no, just the tracker. Sorry,
that's the tracker.
Yeah.
And there's the Ghost.
That's the Ghost.
And I called it. I said we were going to get both of those at IAE.
Yeah. Okay, well done. Here's a virtual prize.
There's a cookie.
A cookie, thank you.
Cookie, yeah, it's a virtual cookie. So I have to say, these are ugly.
Well, the F7A is kind of
weird.
ugly in its own little way.
No, I like the sleekness of the F7A, but
these are the same.
But compared to the Mark 1s, I think these are ugly. The center pieces and all that. I don't know.
But it's the same ship as the A's, the Mark IIs. All it is just it doesn't have a turret in the middle. It has a little round thingy on the top for the tracker, which the Mark I has.
Well, the Mark I was just a smooth dome. There was a bit sticking out the bottom that was some kind of tracking unit.
No, the dome. It had that. It has that little, but it was a little bit more.
It was dome
flush with the ship.
One.
It was more flush with the ship, and it doesn't have
Mark 1 tracker.
Yeah, and it does. You're talking to a guy that owns one. Jesus.
When was the last time you said it?
I don't know. About a month or so, maybe.
A long time ago.
And then I think the new tracker has these little winglets on the dome. Yeah, you see, it's just closer to the
But it's
inside
smoother,
of the.
it's cleaner. I thought the other things has rubbish sticking out of the sides and everything, and it seems to be
Well,
oversized.
they're probably some kind of antennae
That
kind of
one?
thingy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
right.
white
So
one.
those are extra antennae or whatever. It's just, but it isn't as flush with the hull as this one is. It's popped up a little bit more.
Kind of looks
Have
like
you
it
seen
looks.
the AWACS though?
Yeah, I know what. Yeah. But that's
That's
not. I know.
basically what
Yeah.
it is.
No. It shouldn't be sticking out that much. It looks like it's a big drone that's stuck on the top, and that can fly off and do something. It'd be cool
Well,
if it could do
it's
that.
not. Your imagination is running off with you.
Well.
Right, and then the stealth is the same thing. It just has an
No,
inserted EM device that like does whatever it does to reduce your
I don't know.
stealth.
The other one looks a bit slicker with the grooves. I don't know. It's just.
Yeah, this one has grooves in it. The other one doesn't have. This grooves weren't as prominent on the original Ghost.
Yeah, that's just
But
me
yeah,
being.
that's basically what they did is they removed the turret and they replaced it with the inserts.
Oh yeah. I'm just being hyper fussy, by the way. So it's what I do.
The question is, how many people are going to melt their Mark 1s for the Mark 2s?
Oh,
Or are they
don't
just
ever.
gonna
No, do not melt your Mark 1s. In the name of sanity, don't. They are going to be rare.
Yeah, so nobody's going to care.
Um,
Okay, they're rare. What are you going to do? You're going to sell them in the gray market?
No, they're
Are
going
you?
to sit in my hangar so I can gloat over them. Yeah, look at
And
my
nobody's going to be able to
rare
see
Mark
them,
1.
but you?
Yeah, you can watch it through the CCTV camera there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it should be interesting how popular will these be or not be.
Well,
I'm actually.
considering. Go ahead.
I've this niggling feeling that IAE this year will not be as successful as previous years. But anyway, I hope I'm wrong.
I'm anticipating that the Ghost will sell quite well because of Foxy Loxy's stealth videos.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to want the new Ghost just for that reason.
Yeah. What about the tracker? Because I've always liked the concept of the tracker as a mobile CNC kind of vehicle.
The problem is that they haven't introduced the gameplay for it yet.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So right now, its radar is no different than the radar that everybody else has, right? That's a problem with the tracker. That's a problem with the Terrapin. That's a problem with any of the other ships that have some kind of advanced radar systems that they've promoted and have not been implemented.
I'm surprised. I thought the acidic Ks are already introduced.
They are. They're in. They're just highlighting all the stuff that they've implemented as well, because the CSV is on that list too.
Well, true. Actually, yeah, you're right there.
So they just added them to the cards for view and marked them as complete or whatever.
Multi-tool updates. I think is that already in it as well.
So the tool update is very basic. What they did was they just changed the button that you click to make it do stuff. The actual gameplay was removed from 4.0 and will be introduced later.
I hope they hold off the batteries just for the next quarter, because the way the game is, we can't really afford to. Like I use the multi-tools just to fix bugs. Like, for example, when I'm calling up a ship, it usually ends up upside down. So I need the multi-tool to flip it back up again. Having battery restriction on that is going to be rather annoying, because I'm going to go through a lot of batteries just to fix bugs.
They don't have batteries for the multi-tool, but they do have batteries for the rifle. But I don't think you can insert it in the rifle yet. So they're not, again, I don't think they've implemented it, only because the batteries are going to be part of that gameplay that they're going to be introducing with recharging and all that other crap. And so I don't think it's in there yet.
Integrated UI. What does that mean?
They
What-
changed
what-
the little screen on the gun.
Oh, that yeah. I
Yeah.
noticed that. Yeah.
So it's how you read it, so you understand what's going on.
Now, the whinge of the week, 4.0. So,
Okay. Oh, scroll down. No, where you going?
no, wait. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah.
Oh.
Have to get the memes out. Good meme, not a good meme. I will admit the memes have been on point.
I'll give it a okay. Okay.
No, I thought it was good. Bit unfair, but hey, what can you do? So yeah, server meshing, pyro, and general stability. Want to repeat that? Server meshing, pyro, and general stability. Yeah.
The memes.
There we go. The memes. So this is a good meme, as it's truthful. If it's stable, and we have to emphasize if, we'd be wrong to presume that it will come out stable. But if it's stable, that will do far more for the community's general mental health, I think, than having the other stuff that was removed.
Oh, absolutely.
Unstable.
The stability is now far more important. If we are going to head towards 1.0, the most important thing in 1.0 is to have it stable more than anything else. If it's not stable, then it's not a proper release.
Shady, I will agree with you. It won't be stable, only in the sense that they will try and get it as stable as they can in the PTU, depending on how many people actually show up. But we all know, and especially with the technology that they're rolling out this time, that it doesn't matter how stable it is. As soon as it goes to live and it gets slammed with the thousands and thousands of other players that did not go into the PTU to go check out Pyro, that shit is going to fucking crumble like a crumb cake.
Yeah. Let's see.
Yes,
Okay,
when it goes to live, it's going to be a shit show. Absolutely.
Well, hopefully not, but yeah, it could be. But let's see what was taken away. Engineering. Okay, so some were looking forward to that. I'm not going to deny that. That's an important element.
I called that out weeks ago. I said there's no way engineering's coming out with 4.0. And the reason being is that, and I don't know how they're going to pull this off, for engineering to work, almost every single ship has to be or has to have components, because that's the whole premise of it. They have to have components in the ship to be able to do the engineering gameplay. Now, they may be able to fudge it with the single fighter ships, right? Because you're not going to climb out of your cockpit to fucking fix your component in the middle of combat, right? So in most cases, you're either going to live or die, right? So they may be able to fudge that. But for everything else, right, there is an advantage or disadvantage to someone having or not having components, depending on how they want to swing that advantage, right? So like, for instance, I haven't looked at it recently, but the last time I looked at the Cutlass, they put in 2 fuse boxes and they put in an engineering panel, but there are no components.
No.
Zero. Right? So I don't have to go running around and be zapping it with my tool to fix it, to get it back up and running, to get going again, right? Now, if I'm going up against somebody like the Terrapin, because the Terrapin does now have components, let's say they have it ready.
Yeah.
Right? Now, if they hit one of my components, I have to get up and go fix the component and hope that I can get going, or I hope I got a guy in the back seat that's fixing it for me, right? so I can keep going, right, and fighting the cutlass. So the imbalance comes in where it's like, okay, if they fudge the components on the cutlass, where I can blow up their components, but the thing is, they can't see them to fix them, I have an advantage in the terrapin. However, if they do it the other way, where I can't hurt his components because he doesn't have any, right? And he can hurt mine, then I'm at a disadvantage because I got to run around with like a chicken with my head cut off, trying to keep all the components up and running and stuff like that, while he doesn't have to worry about it.
But I don't think that was really considered even when, these were on the list for 4.0, because you have to redo practically all these ships, and that's
exactly. That's why I was saying there's no way engineering is going to be ready for 4.0, because they have to make sure that it is fair.
It's just far too
everybody.
Many. They're just going to have to be unfair for the time being, because it's going to take a while to fix all that issue. You have to redo the ships.
So I want snip that. Someone snip that. I want his words on record. So when 4.0 comes out and it's not even, I have it on record.
Well, it won't be on 4.0, so there.
Well, when engineering comes out. Sorry, let me correct myself. Engineering comes out.
That's what appears to me to be. That's the idea.
Yeah, and that's why they put it off, because they just can't.
No, I just don't think it's ready. The gameplay itself is just not right. The actual interface between you and the terminal just isn't just there yet. It seems to be overcomplicated, I think, at the moment, and it could be just this is not a fine tuning. So let's say the 4.1 patch, it could be there. But that's really the major one. The other ones, live support. Okay, it would have been nice to have that.
Well, live support is technically part of engineering.
No, yeah, right? It would be. They're all connected to each other, but
right, and it is the room system, right? That they have to. They have to put a room system into every ship now as well.
Yeah, that's what I would have liked to see, because that was a part of the room system, which I'm excited about. I really can't wait for that gameplay to kick in. That's going to be fun. But if it's not ready, it's not ready, and if it's connected to engineering and that's not ready,
And fire hazards are connected to life support, which is connected to engineering.
Yeah.
Fire extinguishers, which is at the very bottom there, is connected to fire hazard, which is connected to life support, which is connected to engineering. So all of those guys are all kind of intertwined together.
Yeah.
And why they're all not showing up.
So, yeah, it's a pity, but nothing major, really. Come on, let's get server meshing out, for crying out loud. That's the big issue.
Amen.
Amen. Yeah. It's that's the bigger issue here. That's a major milestone to get over. And once we get that, then we can move on to static meshing, which of course is required for not static, dynamic meshing, which is required for 1.0. So baby steps. Let's get server meshing right, and let's get that stable as possible, and then move on. What else is in there? There's something else there.
Drop life support, engineering, fire,
solar bursts.
Well, charge drain.
That's a pity, because that was a nice quirk in Pyro.
Oh, dude, I hated that thing. That's going to be such a pain in the ass when they put it in.
Well, it's. I hope they dramatically reduce the frequency of the bursts. That was the big problem. It was occurring every 5 minutes or so, and that was just stupid. I hope they increase it to something like every 20 minutes or even an hour or something, to be more realistic. That'll be fair, because it's a bigger system. You're going to be traversing a lot more, and to be caught in that, and
and I can guarantee you, people do not understand the scope of Pyro. Oh my god. And we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah, because you heard about people complaining that, there's too many stations in Pyro, and stop.
Oh no, dude, it's beyond that.
Anyway, charge and drain again. I'm sad to see that not there. Would have liked to have that in the gameplay. Not to simply charging, but also draining somebody else. That would be fun. And the transit system. Well,
That's just long overdue. There's no sweet talking that one. God damn it, that should have been done a long fucking time ago. But I will say that they have to wait until server meshing, because server meshing will impact the transit systems. I think.
I'm not sure, because the systems are within each shard or whatever.
Right, but I'm assuming there's no crossover in the middle of a transit
not yet
system.
anyway.
But,
I think we won't see that until the dynamic server meshing.
right.
But I think it's quite safe to say that there's no system that traverses from one server to another, so I don't think that would be an issue. I'm not sure why that was delayed. Maybe they just didn't get it quite right. It would have been nice, obviously, since I panic every time I go into a tram in New Babbage, as the rail goes through the floor and lifts you up. And I am always thinking that it's going to push me out of the bloody tram, and then
I love it on Area 18 where you start going up into the atmosphere, heading out towards space. That's always fun.
Yeah.
It's like, they're giving me a tour of the planet. That's nice.
That's funny, because in New Babbage the tour is usually down into the Earth's deepest core. But anyway, Polaris.
Yes.
Yeah, so Polaris is put in the roadmap, obviously. So
Yep. That is going to introduce a lot of, I don't know. There's so much that can go wrong with the Polaris being in game.
Okay, how?
So 90% of the Polaris is flying around is going to be one person.
No way.
Okay. Because they are basically replacing their Carrack, if they own a Carrack, with this, or any kind of, right? Because you have a med bay, you have a hangar, you have cargo, right? You have big shields and guns and stuff like that, right? So people are going to use that to do everything.
Actually, yeah, and especially now that engineering has been pushed back, it's made it even more. Yeah. But these are going to be the ultimate solo ships for the next 6 months.
Right, and I think it's one of the reasons why they shifted over to the Perseus, because the other side of that is that it is the most powerful warship in the game, and there is nothing that can go against it readily without a concerted effort, right? So it's kind of like, it's not a Idris, but it is still a force to be reckoned with, right?
Absolutely.
So
if it's capital components, it's going to be difficult to even do anything to it, really.
Yeah,
except smash right into it.
Yeah, and then so if you put an actual crew on it, that 10% that'll actually put a crew on it, I'm gonna be, fuck it. 80% of that 10% is probably gonna be griefers. And they're just gonna go flying around, just popping people like pimples. Because they can, and there's nobody to stop them.
Well, so let's understand this. So I would consider this to be the first proper capital ship, apart from the Idris. This is really the first capital ship in the game. And what I mean by this is that the station where the pilot sits, all they can do is pilot. They cannot fire any weapons, as far as I'm aware.
Right.
There is another station for that. So you're going to have to hop out of your pilot seat and go into the weapon station, and then fire weapons from there. And even then, like I don't know what is the story about the torpedoes. So you might have 4
Torpedoes,
already loaded, but how are you going to load the rest? Do you have to manually still load it? Or will that come later on? We don't know.
Right, but who are you going to shoot with the torpedoes?
What's the
890
smallest?
jumps,
No, pulse. I'm going to fire
hammers.
I'm going to fire my size 10 torpedoes at pulses.
Okay, good luck with that.
It's bigger than the pulse, like the
Yeah.
torpedoes. Right?
But yeah, I mean, it's like they can, a single pilot could, they wanted to, because they're kind of supposed to be sneaky. They, they got their torpedoes loaded. They sneaky up to something, and then they fire the torpedo. Most likely will destroy something with 1 or 2 shots. And then mosey on their merry way. And of course, they could also, to your point, if they need to all right, so they have 2 automated guns, right? That are defense,
that's right.
point defense,
PDCs, isn't it? Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to be Mr.
PDC.
Pilot. I'm going to put my engines on cruise, point in a general direction, right? Maybe push a little power towards the shields, although I probably don't need it because I'm a little bit of a capital class ship.
I'm actually curious.
And then I'm going to jump into a turret. Then I'm going to jump into a turret and start shooting.
But again, this is a capital ship, so does the pilot even have that ability to transfer power?
Oh yeah,
that might be another station.
Yeah, that's. I think that's part of the standard pilot stuff. You want the pilot to have those kind of.
Well, not in the capital ships that doesn't work like that. So
okay.
You see, that's
it's not worth arguing. Yeah, we don't know.
See, this is why I'm stressing it about. This could be the first proper capital ship, which works fundamentally different than every other, where you're stuck with one sole focus role, and every other role is a different station, and requires you to at least get off your fat backside and go into another station to actually do. So even simple things that we're used to, even moving state shields or something like that,
I agree, but CIG is not going to do that. I guarantee it. Not on the first iteration. The pilot will still have access to all the MFDs.
I don't know. Hopefully they will. You're probably right. I just hope they don't, because we really need a proper capital ship, and people need to really understand what is actually involved in a capital ship and what you can't do as well as can. So we need to stop treating these large vessels as if they're fighters. They're not.
Yep.
So yeah, you'll probably be right. The first iteration will always be not the final one, but I would prefer the CIG to at least get that out as soon as possible to emphasize the solo players that, you can solo this ship, but all you can do is fly it. To do anything else, you need at least one more person. It should be very entertaining. You're absolutely right, Shady. I think the griefer thing that you said earlier on, I think the only thing they can do is just ram people.
No, because griefers they will usually hang out in groups.
I don't know.
Some of them will hang out in groups, and so they will be. Let me readjust my percentages. Out of the 10%, let's say 2% are griefers. You're right. Some of them may be single griefers, where they'll ram people, or they'll try and do the torpedoes or whatever, and they may have a buddy, because they may hang out in pairs or threes, and then they'll be able to go ahead and just blow up people as they like. Then you'll have.
Well, if they have 2 or more people, if they have 2 or more people, then I don't mind that. At least they're doing that, and that's using the ship properly.
Then you'll have the other. You'll have 4 of the remaining 8 that will be pirates, and then you'll have the other 4 of the 8 that will be organizations.
Hunting
So-
C2s. Well, at least Shady, that's using the ship with a purpose. I kind of don't mind that, you know. We'll see how OP the Polaris will turn out to be. We're not sure.
Well, when I say griefers, I mean people that are just going in there and they're just blowing people up for the fuck of it,
well,
not
that's
playing to be pirates.
Well, that's if
But,
you're just going after C2 to make somebody's cargo disappear, you know.
Yeah, and not try and not try and pirate them and take the stuff and then resell it and all that other stuff. You just kill them to kill them so that they lose their money and their time and effort. Yeah, that's a griefer. But if you go in there and you're like, hey, stop and let me take your cargo, or they shoot the ship and then they stake the cargo, that's pirating.
It also depends on how much it will cost to run the Polaris. Another thing that we're not really prepared for. Because that thing should be a fuel guzzler. It should cost you a fortune to replace those size 10 torpedoes. They should not be cheap at all. So if those griefer orgs had any sense, if they're going to blow C2s, they should really be going after the cargo inside them. Because the Polaris has a nice, decent-sized cargo hold itself.
If they're going after a C2, they shouldn't be using a torpedo.
But yeah, that would probably destroy the whole thing altogether.
They should not be using a torpedo. They should be flying up to it and just guns a blaring, because those guns will do more than enough damage to that C2 to get them to steal the cargo.
There's also smaller torpedoes. I think there's a missile turret, isn't there?
No, I don't think they have a missile turret.
No, I thought they had a.
Do they?
Yeah, I think one above, one on the bottom, as far as I remember. Down into a while. But yeah, there's plenty of other guns and ordnance to use rather than your large, very expensive size 10s.
Yeah, I'm using my torpedoes to blow up 890 jobs.
Yeah, that'll be the fun part. Yeah.
Yes, that's where I will put on my griefer hat. Hey, there's an 890 jump. Let's go see how many torpedoes does it take?
No, you try communicate with them and say, so how many years have you been operating your 890 thinking that you've been, unstoppable and impenetrable? And now
I'm about to show you the errors of your ways.
Yes.
Like you are no longer privileged.
Is this Realm's great adventure through the jump points?
No, it's
so
it's the great queue
talk about
at the jump point.
4.0. Yeah, let's talk about 4.0, right? Because they are moving ahead as fast as they can. As we mentioned earlier, their main focus is server stability and the jump points. Those are the two things that they have to get working for 4.0. Oh, and elevators. Gotta get the fucking elevators working again, god damn it. Without those three things working consistently and reliably, 4.0 is dead. Plain and simple. That one when it said you failed, yeah.
I'm not sure that's still the case now, though. But you can get through.
They've made changes. It's hit and miss still. It's still hit and miss. Actually, I've had it where I tried jumping, and somehow the jump gate I had all my green lights. The jump gate was closed. I somehow inadvertently started jumping. I don't know if I did it or the game just did it, and I was riding the tunnel on the outside. I wasn't even in the damn thing, and I was just like skimming along, following this particle trail all over the place. And then, of course, somehow managed to get out of it and ended up in the middle of nowhere. The ship locked, not moving, totally bonked. But yeah, they're still having problems with the jump points. They're still having problems with the elevators in all of the stations and bases and all that other kind of crap, which is a problem. And then just general stability, I think, is associated to server meshing in general, which is probably affecting the elevators and the ability to do the jump points.
Yeah, it's just even transitioning from one server to another just isn't there yet. It isn't smooth. It needs to be.
Oh no, that's not. I mean, when it works, it's
But see,
cool. All
no,
right,
you're right there, but there is the lag, and the lag affects everything.
yeah, there is still some lag. I have it where it actually like freezes up on me and then lets me go, and I'm like at that moment I'm in terror because I'm like, am I going to recover where I froze up, or am I going to be going through the wall and be stuck who knows where in the middle of nowhere, right? I actually had a server error in the middle of the fucking tunnel once, and I was like, oh, I'm so fucked. But luckily it recovered, and I was able to get through to the other side. So yeah, when it works, it's an exhilarating experience.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
When it doesn't work, it's a fucking major letdown.
But like, let's look at this scenario right here, right now, of the queue. Now, initially, it was cool to see this. It's nice to see all these ships, but is this going to be a thing anyway in future when we can jump? And is there going to be a huge queue of ships around the place?
No. Usually that only happens, like, let's say when they do a patch. Let's just say they do a patch and they do a full wipe or whatever, or not a full wipe, but they patch and everybody's jumping on and trying to go through the jump point. Like when they first roll out 4.0, that will be a thing. And it will be a thing not so much because there's too many people trying to go through it. It will be a thing because the servers are going to fucking crash.
But let's
let me just finish.
Okay.
So when it's working, there is no line. You just fly up and you start getting the indicators and everything letting you know that it's ready, and then it pulls you right in and off you go. And if there's a guy that's lined up alongside of you at the same time, it'll pull them in and you'll see that person flying the tunnel along with you. So I don't think you'll see a lot of this unless the tunnel is not working. It's just not opening up.
I'm not so sure. We're expecting. See, there's a victim already. The pieces there of a ship. I'm expecting a lot of players when the thing properly up and running. So I am genuinely expecting something like this or even worse.
Well, like I said, when they first open it up after a patch, people are going to be rushing to do this. And that is what's going to happen. It's like they are going to line up. They're not going to know. Well, first of all, the server's not going to work. I'm saying it right now. Me and Shady agreed on it earlier. As soon as it goes to live, it's going to be a shit show. It is not going to work. You will see this exact scenario. But if it is working, you will start to see people just going through it. It'll be a little bit of a cluster at first, but it will wean itself out because people will just start going through the tunnel. It'll just go.
Mm-hmm.
What's going to be funny is the other side.
Oh yeah. Are you going to be flung out into the dark, deep clouds that are behind there?
So
Ridiculously dark.
they had two major problems in this Evocati build so far with the jumps. One, you come out at super ballistic speeds into an asteroid field and a base, and you can't stop unless you get out of get out of nav mode, get into SCM mode, and drop your landing gear. You are like a bullet, traveling faster than anything that I've seen in the game so far. So good luck with that. If you don't get the reflexes, you're going to smash into something and you're going to die. Hopefully that will be resolved. They said they resolved it once. It's back again. So you know how that goes. And then there was another one where it's like it actually puts you out in a random location when you came through, even though you successfully traveled.
Yeah. It acts like you hit the wall or something. Yeah.
Yeah, and it puts you in a random location. And I was like, I thought I failed because I didn't read that part of it in the patch notes, and I go, oh, so that's what happened. But luckily, I was in a big ship, so I had enough fuel to get someplace. If it was somebody in a smaller ship, they would have been in trouble.
So this brings up another point that we've talked about before, or touched about it, and again, I've emphasized it earlier on, that Pyro is a lot bigger than Stanton. And that ships that we're so used to using in Stanton are not really appropriate for Pyro because it's so much bigger. Your fuel tank is just not appropriate. And I wonder if CIG might even increase the tank sizes.
They might. I mean, they've already started making adjustments. We know that they've started making adjustments to the quantum drives, their speeds, their fuel consumption, trying to make them standardized and stuff. And they've increased some gas tanks on some of the ships, so they're kind of working on it. And I expect them to continue working on it. I think Pyro will be what will become the new standard for travel.
I think so, because Stanton is actually a small system overall when you look compared to the other star systems that is on the map. So yeah.
So I think they will readjust a little bit, not a whole lot, because they want that pressure or that thought of where can I go? What path do I have to take to make sure I got enough gas and all that other shit,
what's
right?
the consequences? Yeah.
So they want that to be part of it, and I have been experiencing that these last few days in the 4.0 EPTU. I've been flying around with the Zeus ES, which I have a bigger than normal gas tank, and I am being very cautious of where I go and being sure that I can go where I need to go and be able to refuel. So a lot of people are in for a rude awakening.
So do you think this will
traveling around?
So we've been indulging in excess, I think, in Stanton for so long. So now we will have to learn how to use our consumables at a much more efficient, in a much more efficient way. Your fuel consumption, your repair for your ship, and even food and drink is now a lot more scarce, should we say?
Yep.
Now I'm not sure are they going to change that, because I remember Realm going to one of the asteroid bases, and I saw that he was seriously needing a drink, and he searched everywhere in this base, and he eventually found one single box that contained a drink.
I mean, well, we don't know. I mean, this EPTU right, is twofold, right? One is it's trying to get the stability, right?
Mm-hmm.
The base stability before they start rolling out all the other stuff that goes with it. And then they're allowing it to be streamed for the first time by only Evocati. And that was for the sole purpose of showing everybody, yes, 4.0
Gamer
is coming out,
privilege.
We'll
right?
come
That
back to
was
that
just
later. Yeah.
yeah,
Remind me then. Yeah.
that was that was done so that people can see that we are, yes, in fact, getting close to rolling out 4.0 because they've been saying we're going to roll it out, we're going to roll it out. So that was a marketing ploy,
Mm-hmm.
right? I actually saw in the chats yesterday that they're talking about taking it away and going back to NDA as they start to release some more of the features and stuff, right? Because there's a lot of stuff that they have not released, and so you really don't know how it plays out. And I don't think they really want to give that a lot of that stuff away either. So that's why they're going to do that. But,
Or it may be also that those features in the initial release will be quite buggy, and they don't want to show that off.
Yeah.
Um,
So, and I think they really just wanted people to see all the jumping and everything is what they wanted people to see.
mhm.
But a lot of people aren't doing the jumping. Why? Because they're letting people select their spawn point in Pyro. So you have 3 stations that you can
No,
pick to spawn in Pyro.
No, we saw people, a decent amount of people wanting to jump. So I disagree there. I think there are good numbers doing the jumping. It's just that, well, there's a lot of pyro, and people want to see pyro.
Yeah.
So what do we think of this? So these are the asteroid
Oh,
base.
wait. Let's go back to the resources real quick before we go into this. So everything in Pyro is more expensive.
Yeah, and rare,
and more difficult to get.
Yeah,
and depending on what you get, is of poorer quality.
Yes, exactly.
So you have reclaimed water, not real water. Not to say that there isn't real water in it, because I found real water.
Oh, they do exist, but its health benefits are not there. So
yeah, so that's the other thing that people are going to need to be aware of is like things are more expensive. They're harder to come by, and it's just a big scary place. And you are constantly, head on a swivel, hoping that someone is not going to walk up behind you and put a bullet in your head. And that's on the space stations too. Space stations are not 100% armistice zone. There is a small area that is an armistice zone. If you leave that armistice zone, you are open game. And I'm just going to leave it at that.
So,
asteroid base.
So this is one of the interest points. There seems to be about 2 or 3 near every planet. Not quite at the Lagrange point, but just kind of hanging off it. Now, one downside I have to admit, and I know others who have complained about this, is that they're all exactly the same. How do you feel about that?
So I was thinking about that today too. Even the space stations, they are so cookie cutter. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So much copy and pasting.
Pyro is a cookie cutter system. They talk about how they want each system to be unique and be different, but everything looks the same.
Yeah.
Even the space stations on the inside, they almost have the same exact layout. They don't have the layouts broken up like the space stations in Stanton. I don't know if that's by design, if that's done by just, cutting corners because they have to. But it's like every place I go, I see the same assets all the time.
The same trash.
once I walk the route, the one route, I almost know the route on all the other stations.
Well, I suppose there's no harm with that because actually find pyro stations quite disorientating.
They're disgusting. Oh my
Y-
god, they're so fucking disgusting.
yeah, it's a mess, and distinctive features is not as prominent, say, you find in Stanton stations. You know the markers. There are signage, but still, it's I find it oddly confusing. And it's also worse when there's actually a load of areas that you don't initially see, like through vents and subfloors that you can crawl through. It's quite easy to get lost, actually.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm disappointed to see this copy and paste attitude at the moment. Hopefully, they'll change that. Because people will notice that. And yeah, cutting corners. I hope CIG are not deliberately doing that.
I mean, they may have to because it's such a they have so much they have to deliver that they had to cut corners. I'm not saying it's a good practice, but they may have had to do it for that sole reason. It's like, but every asteroid base is literally the same.
They're all exactly the same, not literally, exactly the same. Even the layout of the asteroids are all exactly the same. So that's yeah, I don't know. One thing I want to point out here is that there's no NPCs on the stations of yet. So see hostile territory. So Realm should not be easily be able to go around
Gunned
here.
down, yeah.
You should have been gunned down by now. Because they're supposed to be belonging to the factions, and therefore you must declare for a particular faction, and then if you do that, you'll get access to their stations and outposts, while being a genuine hostile to the other ones, because you're not a part of that. But if you're neutral, you should be hostile to everything. So maybe that they just didn't put the NPCs for that very reason. That maybe the what's the word for it? Affiliate system isn't
Well, but
there yet.
they may not be ready for it. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if you go into the Moby Glass, you don't see any factions, so I don't think
Mhm.
they've put those in yet.
Oh, the Great Void. Yeah. Yeah. So, some of them had these big void that he was afraid to go through, but
Oh yeah, me too.
I convinced
I
him
was
to
like,
go
nope.
through because I knew there were other areas of the station that he couldn't see. But they look cool. Again, they all had these tunnels where you can get other goodies. Sometimes you saw stuff like this, which would scare you.
Oh, did you make it to the hangar?
No, he didn't get to the hangar.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I tried to go to the hangar the one time I went in there, and again, the elevators weren't working.
Yeah, Relum was punching the fan for some reason.
Oh, he's hoping he could break it and then squeeze through.
Well, as I pointed out to him, there's a green button there. You just simply press and it opens it up. Again, the void. A bar and everything in there. Oh, gun shop, yeah. But yeah, it's all cool and stuff. But it's missing NPCs. That's the key element, really. You need it to be populated, or it just looks. It's missing its main feel.
But like I said, it's really just about getting the what do you call it? Getting the stability right now before they start adding all the other shit.
Can you see 4.0 coming out before the end of the year?
So I had somebody else ask me that yesterday. So yes and no. Right? They're making progress on the jump point and the server stability, right? It's more like one step forward, two steps back kind of scenario, but they are still making progress. We still have, let's just say 6 weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got about 6 weeks before they need to really drop it before they go on Christmas holiday. So if they continue to do a new patch almost every day, there's a good chance that they can have the stability by the end of the month and some of the newer features, and maybe get it to phase 1 or wave 1.
That sounds like
But I
hope.
doubt it,
Yeah.
right? And then it's a question of how fast do they get through the waves before they roll it out into a dumpster fire? Because when they roll it out, I mean, there's been some times when CIG has worked a miracle. They released a big patch and it was good. It was stable, right? It didn't have a lot of problems. But this is server meshing, right? They are not. No offense to CIG whatsoever, right? I mean, the fact that they've gotten to this point, kudos. You guys are doing shit that other people are not doing. We know and they know that they are not going to get enough people on the PTU to stress it enough to find all the bugs and problems before they put it out on live. And when they put it out on live, it's going to be
Like
a
this.
dumpster fire.
Oh, did you see this? Yeah, this is hilarious. Look at this.
The hell is that?
It's the
It's a
planet
planet?
blue. Planet blue, yeah.
Oh, not even. Yeah, it's just a freaking plane.
Yeah. It's part of one's missing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, I think they're going to try and push it out, regardless of whether it's ready or not. I don't think they're going to wait.
Just because they don't have the numbers to properly test it.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna have to do it regardless, and it's going to be a dumpster fire.
But then
The
should
thing
they
is,
not?
like they should really wait until after the New Year, because in reality they're going to force people to have to work on the holidays because it ain't going to work.
No, you're right there.
You know, if CIG, if you really want to give your people a chance to enjoy the holidays, right, and you want to get this out to the community, okay, you should release this to live on December 2nd, ready or not.
Oh, I don't know.
Because that gives you gives you 3 weeks to get the shit stable.
Right. That's still not guaranteed.
Before the
though.
holidays, so that everybody can enjoy playing the game during the holidays, and that staff can enjoy their holiday.
See, don't forget, IAE finishes on the 5th of December, so I don't think that's doable.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Okay, then they need to release it on the 9th and get it fixed in 2 weeks.
So they're trying to get the 0.3 out patch for IAE.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
I mean, they're trying to work in parallel. You know, I mean, we're seeing 2 patches, one for each version, almost every day or every other day. So they're hustling. They are busting their asses, and kudos to you guys. I mean, I cannot say kudos enough. I really appreciate what you guys are trying to do for us, even though the rest of the community have their heads up their ass. There are a bunch of us that do appreciate what you're trying to do, even though, and some of us know that just shit can't be helped, right? So, if you want to try and make the community happy for the holidays, and you guys enjoy it. 4.0's got to drop by the 9th, and that gives you 2 weeks to get the shit fixed. Yeah. Plain blank, straight from the hip. I'm telling you how it is. That's how it's got to go.
So
And if I
Shady,
call,
exactly. Just drop it, rip the fucking Band-Aid off, and let the salt flow. That's
Yeah.
the way they got to do it.
if I could add in something, content creators have content because now, as everyone well knows, the so-called vaunted 4.0 has been quote unquote gutted. When I think everyone should have known that, and SIG should have known that it should have only had super meshing and pyro, and that should have been the patch, the entire patch right there. They were always too ambitious and always add in stuff, say, oh, well, we can't do it all, so we gotta, quote unquote, take stuff away. And they say, they, meaning the content creators, say it's been gutted. And they got the content, but it's interesting. It's interesting to see that generally the major content creators have been, well, excluding a couple folks, have been largely positive about the game overall. But it's nice to see that Mr. Astropub starting to call out certain people, namely Mr. Morph. He called out Morph again. This is the second time he's done it, saying, stop catastrophizing. The situation is not, it's sad, but it's not a huge deal. It's content. He's saying, oh, Morph is saying, oh, woe, it's me. Oh no. Oh, what am I gonna do? Oh, and stuff like that for content, for clicks and likes, and so forth and so on.
money.
So it's nice to see. Yeah, of course. It's nice to see that that people within the content community starting to clap back, so to speak.
Okay, well, so Relum, keep this footage going anyway. So we'll bring up the other thing that popped up, that video that popped up complaining about the likes of content creators in Evil Caddy. In a way, oh my god, look at the state of that. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's all hovering above ground.
Yeah.
There's the dumpster fire. Woo!
Just that main outpost on Pyro 1 that you saw.
Yeah.
That's last year's CitizenCon in all its glory, and it's looking really good.
Yeah.
And now it's like this.
Well, no. Well, this has been repeated on the other planets and moons as well.
Yeah,
so
but
but
in
it's sad to
hostile
see it
territory,
hovering.
they don't even
At least
react.
it's NPCs anyway.
They just don't do
Zombies.
shit.
They're zombies.
Um,
Well, how long ago did you record this?
That was yesterday or something, or at least not too long ago.
Okay, because if you walk around space stations, they're actually walking around and talking.
Yeah, that's what yeah.
They added
in New
a bunch of
Babbage.
NPCs. Yeah, they added a bunch of NPCs these last patches, so they seem to be getting kind of closer. But still, a lot of work. Anyway,
Yeah.
what were you saying?
Yeah, I was going to bring the video that you.
Oh yeah. So for context, I didn't watch all of it. I got about halfway through, and I said, okay, this guy needs to just get off his high horse. But basically, this one guy ripped on Salty Mike and just content creators in general because someone had mentioned, why is he playing 4.0 and nobody else has it? And he says, well, because he can and deal with it, kind of shitty. So he basically ragged on, I don't know if he ragged on his community, but he ragged on somebody for saying, look, I'm privileged, deal with it. Versus trying to, approach it the right way, which is to say that this is an Evocati build. It's a mess. It's really only being shown as a marketing ploy to let everybody know that yes, we're close to releasing 4.0 because CIG was falling behind it, and they needed to make everybody aware and comfortable during CitizenCon. So, and yeah, they feel privileged. They feel that they can, I'm a streamer and I got access to Evocati, so I can do whatever the fuck I want and that crap.
Do you know, just looking at this video here, you know, it would have been cool here if they kind of created a little mini maze like this that looked like an old Doom game or something like that.
I was thinking the same thing just now. I was like, this looks like Doom. They need to have like a poster or something
Yeah,
in there.
Yeah, with the monster. Yeah.
With like doors or something, that makes it look like the old Wolfenstein
Yeah, that would have been hilarious.
Easter eggs.
So, yeah, I was disappointed when I heard Mike say that. That's out of order. I think that's just, they whinge about not having access to certain things, and then when some do, they just do stuff like that. I think that's out of order. I'll even go as far as say that I think Mike should be not allowed to do this in future. If he's gonna start boasting about his Evocati access, that's not the point of Evocati. He's supposed to be testing. And you don't brag to other people going, "Oh, I'm Evocati." That's out of order, I think. Yeah, that's not cool to see. Yeah, damn, I can't help it. Were you stuck, Relum? Oh, you did get out. Okay.
I went ahead and put the link in, Shady, so you can watch it and you can make your own determination.
Yeah, we're not going to broadcast. It's not worth it.
Yeah, I mean, we've already know that a lot of the times they do feel that they're privileged and do things that they really don't need to be doing.
They should be above this. Mike should be above this. He's experienced as we are. He's been around as long as we have. He should know better. Don't do that. It's not cool. He's a nice guy, and I'm disappointed, to hear him say stuff like that. I tell you one thing that this place is missing is those bursts, because it's only in these buildings where you really get cover or shelter from it. And so when you traverse from one building to another and a burst occurs, But also what I noticed missing is, particularly in part 1, I remember seeing in the concept images, I hope they didn't pull it, was all these little plants. They kind of glowed purple kind of thing. Don't know if you've ever seen the concepts of it. That seems to be missing, which is disappointing. I don't know, did they pull it because of FPS issues, if they want to? Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry. Thanks for pointing this. So this is interesting. So we're actually starting to see...
That was just a coincidence.
Yeah. So we're seeing unique painted components for weapons.
Attachments. Yeah. There
Attachments,
seem to now also be versions that, supposed to be matched with the skins, the guns they already have. Scorched.
So, Scorched. Well, is that supposed to be a look or a state? Like,
no, it's
so
in
Scorched.
quotation. It's in quotation, so I'm assuming it's a deliberate skin, not just because if it was a state, then it would just be a different metadata, right?
Well, it could be, or eventually it could be. So Scorched, I'm guessing, is that sometimes it gives you this kind of shine off a metal. When metal is heated, you kind of get this kind of purple-ish
Sort of looks
coloring
like.
to it. So unless it is about luck, and not stats, then I don't really know what to make it. I suppose it's something additional
The
fidelity
Yeah, no,
thing.
Scorch.
scope as well.
That is a skin style.
Um,
That's whenever they put it in quotes, it's always named after something like Red
Yeah.
Alert, right? Everything has the quotes with Red Alert, letting you know that it is part of the Red Alert series of armor and weapons.
do you know
That
what
kind
I'm
of stuff.
thinking? Do you know when I saw this, I immediately went, "Oh fuck no," because this is now a headache for the wiki. I was
Well,
never
They
expecting
made it a
this.
headache because they wanted to decide to have all the variants there in their own page.
Well, we have to because they're all supposed to have their unique values, and so eventually going to have to do this.
Are they though?
Yeah.
Oh no, this is you guys' fault because
They're
you
the
like
same gun,
skins.
though.
So
no,
this is
no,
what you get.
it's actually it's about putting stuff on the wiki. So we have to now create a different page for this eventually.
No,
We do because it will have a different set of
you
values.
create one page for the base unit, right? And then you put in all the different skins by their names. So like, I don't what is it? What
The
suit
score
is it?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's that one suit they give it a Red Alert. They
Yeah,
also
yeah.
give it the Archangel.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
also gave it something, right? So you would have that armor, and then you would say,
Den tool.
variants, Archangel, which is black, Red Alert, which is, cherry red,
Mhm.
and then so on and so forth. Or like the multi-tools. They're all a Grey Cat multi-tool. It's just that they have a different skin. And so that's the way I would do it. So to save yourself having to create thousands and thousands of pages.
It's too late now. We were already subdivided. We did be like that, but yeah, we
I mean,
had
that
to
looks
do it.
great as long as they're not links to other pages. That would have been perfect.
But yeah, we're eventually gonna have to create new
No.
pages for it.
No.
I know, just more headache. Sorry, I only saw Shady's comment there about Mike. So you think that people just antagonize him to piss him off, knowing that he would get angry about it? Yeah, I have to give that, but still, Mike should know better. I don't think he should have said it. He should just ignore those kind of comments if he can. I'm not a streamer, so I don't know what it's like to have people constantly, poking you and all that. I'm guessing that I probably would lose the head, but you need to try your best and keep calm as possible because it doesn't look good. Anyway, sorry. So many stuff, and you can't grab it.
That's a good thing because this reminds me a lot of like Fallout. And the last fucking thing I need is to be grabbing everything.
What else? Why can't you grab something and then say repair it or something and then sell it? I don't see
Look,
why
it's
not.
safe. Doesn't do anything.
Yeah. Did you press the button?
There's no button to press.
I'm kidding. So yeah, the one thing I've noticed is that this is very similar. Apart from the landscape, the buildings are very similar to each other, no matter where it is. Again, we're looking at replicating the copy and pasting element seems to be quite apparent. And
Well, I mean,
if all players get completely bored of this very quickly because of this repetitiveness, it doesn't matter what planet or moon you go in the Pyro, you will see this style and this layout.
well, but you got to remember, it's like it's just like any place else in reality where you go to. You usually see the same buildings, in the same neighborhoods, being built out and stuff like that. And when you're, living in space and planets and stuff like that, where you don't have a whole lot of resource, you usually build the same kind of buildings from a pattern or a blueprint, so to speak.
Yeah.
Right. That consistency. It's quickly manufactured kind of thing. So sure, it will detract a little bit. Is having a barbecue? And he didn't invite you? Fucker, I
All
would have
right.
shot him on the spot.
That's
You should have shot him to see if he got any bad
I think
factions.
there was a stealth takedown or something, but
Um,
you can't really do
but yeah,
anything
I
with
mean,
this.
you're gonna find right. So we haven't seen the ones that we used to see in Pyro. In Pyro recently, we see them in Stanton. Remember the original Pyro buildings? They now started showing up in Stanton, and then these are all different Pyro buildings.
Yeah, I think they used that Stanton as a test bed, I think, initially, and then they evolved from there. It kind of makes sense to have these kind of what's the name of this style?
Trash.
Not trash. Anyway, yeah, they you need that kind of rough style like this in Stanton, because there would be areas that are outside the corporate influence, and yeah, you just need something like this. But I'm glad they made it different than the outposts that we see in Stanton. They seem to be denser here. The one in Stanton seems to be a lot more sparse.
Yeah, no, these are actual well thought out facilities. I've been to a couple so far. I've gone to where they have actual freight elevators, multiple freight elevators, landing pads, buildings for residential, buildings for maintenance. I actually walked into a garage where they had a mule sitting in there, and repair tools and stuff like that. So they actually have done a nice job with a lot of these places. So there's a lot to see. Even though the external is kind of basically the same,
Yeah.
the internals are pretty cool.
Oh, he's in quicksand, is he?
Yeah, this went bad. You see?
Right.
As it got worse, and then it was like, oh no. It went even lower. Oh no!
Oh dear.
Oh,
Oh no. Oh no.
oh no!
Oh, dear.
Invisible. Oh no! Go back. Go back. Oh good. Oh no! Oh
Okay.
yes. Oh no!
No, you just
Oh,
have to
no.
go back in. Yeah.
Of course I did.
Oh
no.
You're gonna fall through. You're gonna fall through. Yeah, you love glitching this. You also glitched in the asteroid base. You were stuck
Well,
in
I
a pipe for
couldn't.
10
That was
minutes.
because I couldn't even get out the door back to where I. Because you saw that earlier when I parked the ship outside and went in through an airlock. I could enter because the buttons worked, but from back when I wanted to go, when I wanted to go back out, the button stopped working. I was literally stuck inside, and I saw some of those void doorways where you just go into nothingness, and I was like, okay, try exiting from through there. But yeah, it went bad.
And that's the reason, ladies and gentlemen, it's an evil caddy.
Yeah, these locations definitely not been fleshed out proper in a lot of cases. You see these bugs even when I'm crawling through here. This clipping, it's just not even near ready. Let alone the fact that there's no faction reputation in this at all. Like you said before, the NPCs, even if there are NPCs here, they don't react to you at all.
Yeah.
Don't know why. It says hostile trespassing hostile territory,
they
but it's just not
they
happening.
do react to you in the stations if you go into the contested areas. I found that out firsthand.
Yeah, I've been
Walking
seeing
around
that
most of the
being mentioned,
stations
but I've not
with
gone in there.
no NPCs around and stuff like that, and so I go into another area looking around. I know it's a contested area, but
You
I
can
wasn't
see these.
expecting any NPCs. Next thing I know, I'm dead. I'm like, wait, where the fuck did these guys come from?
You can see these places here too. They have like mounted guns in these positions inside the building, like the
Yeah, well,
point
I'm
where you
guessing
want to
this.
defend.
Well, I'm guessing this is some kind of valuable item here,
Stash, yeah.
and they're using it as a fortified point.
Well,
Oh,
in
to
the
keep people
fucking
from going upstairs or something. I don't know.
Well, no,
in the
this would be for you. So this is probably a place where you can gain something of value if you're gonna go after this faction.
I know in the space stations, it's kind of cool where you have the freaking big fucking gun and a bunch of guards, blocking off the area, saying you don't go in unless you're friendly.
Hmm. This is part 06, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And I need to learn the
Oh,
names.
that's an-
Terminus, yeah, that's the one.
You'll have plenty of time to learn all that shit.
That bug
I'm
with
terrible with names.
the broken planet texture, so it seemed to fix it when you backlog in orbit, I think, and then just go back in. But yeah. Even some of this. So the thing is, though, I took screenshots of all the planets just so that we have updated pictures for the wiki. But I'm starting to think that some of them are just not how they're intended to, what they're intended to look like. It's the same
No,
as
they're
here.
not.
When I zoom in, you see these. I think there are just ponds. There are a
The
bunch
the
of
LODs
lakes,
are not.
but they
The
keep.
LODs aren't ready.
You see, the LODs keep popping, and you keep seeing them turn into, as you get closer, they start turning to what they were actually supposed to look like. So yeah, some of the coastlines of all these little tiny ponds is not working like it's supposed to be doing, because it's making the shape simpler for LOD reasons, but that doesn't work with all these tiny little lakes. And now it's like it's supposed to, and also some of those are brown, and I'm like, I don't think that's correct. It just looks weird.
I'm guessing that's cloud cover, the brown ones.
Yeah, but even when
Oh,
you
no,
get down there,
dark ones.
they still look the same. So you have these
Oh.
blue, that actually is not water, actually. Anyway,
Oh, it's supposed to be ice. Oh, okay.
it is ice.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Well, this is a planet like the furthest out there, so
Mm-hmm.
definitely cold.
Oh, we can land. Okay.
Yeah, it's solid. It's
Well,
really shiny.
you couldn't land on part 01 there earlier on, so.
And what was the other?
Oh, that's supposed to be white. Okay.
Yeah, but I don't.
There's a lot of visual obstructions in Pyro. Mostly like clouds.
Yeah, and this is the other
And
weird
shit like
thing
that.
here. Like, I've been playing with this a little bit, and when you're down here, it's absolutely foggy as hell. And I can understand that it's just weather. I mean, I don't care if there's a reason here for this.
Well, you
That's
better
cool.
get used to it because this
But-
is going to be worse than Nyx.
Yeah, but look, just graphically, this doesn't make sense because as soon as you go above a certain height, all of a sudden, it fades away. And
Well, yeah,
where did the
It's supposed to.
but where did the fog go? If you look down, you can it's all clear. You can clearly see the surface of the planet. So that fog layer, where did it go? You're supposed to, if you look down, you're supposed to still see the cloud layer. You're not in it anymore, but you're still supposed to see it. See, and now it's clear. I can see everything down here.
Well, wait till you try to go to some of the space stations,
That's because the cloud tech
because
isn't
some of
there
the
yet.
space stations have really dense cloud,
Oh,
or
I've seen it.
I don't know what they're. And it's like you're flying, you're going towards the space station. You can't fucking see it until you come through the cloud and you're right on fucking space station.
There's so much missing. Even things like the global lighting, we won't see that until 1.0, which is disappointing.
Yeah, but that's the weird thing is, like, you're down here and you're covered by all this mist. You can't see shit in front of you, which
they're
which you
probably not
might
gonna
which
do
you
anything.
might consider like a tactical advantage for you, because you're like, oh, I'm enveloped in all this fog. No one in hell can see me
The
because I'm.
person above you can see.
But when you're above it, you can just see right through it. It doesn't. Yeah, that's just that's not
This
correct.
That's a Daisy kind of thing where I remember you used to hide behind a bush and you thought, oh, I'm safe here. And you're wondering why you're still getting shot at. It's because from the person shooting you,
It
they
doesn't
don't see
see
the
the
bush.
bush.
Yeah. I don't think that's going to be resolved until 1.0. That's what their own map kind of indicates. So,
Mm. But this happens on Microtech too. This isn't just power plant. This is obvious.
oh yeah, no, that happens everywhere. Yeah.
You suddenly fly into like these ice storms, but from above it, you don't even see the fact that there's a storm down there.
No.
It's because it's all like client-side visuals, and it doesn't have any physical properties. I don't think.
I don't think it's client side. I think.
Well, no,
Actually, no, it's client side. No, you're right there. Because I remember not too long ago having the ability to actually turn them off. And I realized that people were giving out to me saying, how can you not have weather, but I do? That kind of thing. So, yeah. I hope the weather system will not be a client-side thing.
That's some of the
has to be
show that
a shared
CitizenCon,
experience.
which I'm hoping will be like that, and that they this isn't just effects that someone else doesn't see.
Yeah, it is, and I know why they do it, but
And it's sometimes even the same with
there.
with other objects such as tree coverage, forestry. And if you're sitting in the middle of the tree coverage, in regular tactical circumstances, you would say it's good to if you even can land in a dense forest, because sometimes it's just impossible. But if you manage to do it, you're covered quite well, because no one in hell can see you because of all the trees covering you. But if because of LOD issues, they just disappear, and someone can see you sitting there, like right there. Oh, look, it's a ship. Because we've seen it even in the current game that apparently the LODs for your ship or for anybody else's ship, it pops in a lot way before the fact that you even see scattered objects on the surface of the planet, rocks and trees and all that. But then again, we saw with CitizenCon the Genesis thing that they've already managed to make it so that it can get a lot denser, while even increasing the range at where it becomes visible, the draw distance.
The only thing is, and what I hope that this kind of forest density also affects radar detection. You would think it would, because of wood. Wood is a good absorption of radio signals. So
is it?
It should be able to at least mask as much as possible of a vehicle being there, especially when the vehicle's been turned off all its power. You should not be detectable unless you're right on top of it. I hope that will be a thing. Yeah. So
Was this?
there beginning of the week they presented this nice page. It would have been handy having this and the other Citizen Cons as well. So it's a good summary of everything in one place. If you haven't seen
5,000.
If you haven't seen these, I would recommend it anyway, just to go over it, because there could have been a few things that you missed. Also, the visuals of these are much higher quality than what you would have seen in the live stream.
Well, live
So
stream
it's-
was in 4K as well, so the difference
Oh,
is.
yeah, but it still was a stream, and
Mhm.
you have to deal with the issues of that. They're definitely of a better quality. There's no doubt about that. But it's no harm going over it and using this as a reference, and in a way using this to hold CIG to accountability, saying this is what you promised.
Reference this
us, you
page and be
told
like,
us."
but last at CitizenCon you showed us this. Where the hell is it now? Oh god, the player bases. And then there was a gallery. Like, yeah, let's come on, full screen. No,
No.
where this website is so weird sometimes. The full screen doesn't work. Whatever.
Yeah. Just go through them.
Because it's too big. Hang on, that might be my issue. Oh, what the fuck?
No.
F5. Great
CIG
job,
hates you.
CIG. There we go.
There we go.
Just the venue. Wait, I can't.
Yeah. No, you can't go to the next page.
Oh, holy crap.
I'm there.
Future.
Okay.
That'll be a nice feature. Yeah. Have you shown some of this in a couple of weeks ago as well?
Yeah.
These are nice photos too. Everybody taking picture.
Woo. Well, it was cool looking.
Mm-hmm.
I would have preferred to be life size because, you know,
It wasn't
going right up against it. No, it wasn't. It was just slightly smaller.
It looked pretty realistic to me
original
because
size.
when Jared was standing next to it, he looked like pretty to scale because you could tell.
Well,
okay, he looks like he can fit into the cockpit of that thing.
So that's the point I was going to say, because people, I would have loved for people to see its true size, because you think it's big now, even when you go up to it, but it's even bigger again, and it might make people appreciate that the Hornet
Or
isn't
Jared's
a
just a
bloody small
tiny
ship.
man.
Yeah, he's just a shrimp. Yeah.
No, actually, he's actually a tall guy.
Oh,
He's
tall,
He's over 6 foot, I think, or at least 6 foot.
You've seen him in real life. Huh?
But we don't truly understand how big these ships actually are, even the small ones.
Oh yeah.
And it would have given people a nice appreciation of the scale of Star Citizen.
Oh, they ain't gonna get.
Didn't they do the same thing at like that? When was that? Like probably already 10-year-old Manchester Citizen Con, where they were they had like a portion of a ship in the life size. Well, I'm not sure it was life size, but there was like a portion of it, like the cockpit or something, at the end of a stage. I think that was Manchester. What Dupsons was that?
They only appreciate the scale of the game when they walk up to a freaking like 890 jump from inside the hangar.
Yeah, but
then
that's
they
the size
realize
of a
how
freaking super
big
yacht.
this shit is, right? Then they realize how big some of this shit is.
I don't think you still do, but that's the thing. That's my point. There's a big difference.
If they can't grasp that and understand the scale of the fucking game, then they're fucking idiots.
It's a
Plain
game.
and simple.
So these Chinese modelers, was it Phoenix spaceships? I think they're called. Fantastic stuff. I hope they had a 1.8 meter tall person somewhere on that model to show the scale.
Somebody, somebody made these. Did they have the
Yeah,
same?
CIG
Did
made
they have the same typos as in the?
Yeah, I never
in the
checked
game?
that. I was going to wait for you to inspect that, since you know
God.
the typo better.
I think that was related to Invictus anyway, not. These must be different. Text.
No, I think they're the same ones. There was only two. There was that one in Invictus, and then there was the one in the Hurston type. That was the only kind of time frame memorials like this. I'm guessing the typo's still in there. I would bet money that the typo's in there. Nobody would have checked that. One of the winners, I believe. Bit of fun.
Noodles.
I like this. I was looking at this layout and I thought this is quite clever. The way they use the cargo containers, and you don't realize that you're in a huge hall because of the netting across. It makes everything smaller and more closer and intimate, shall we say? Pretty clever, I thought.
Front of house. Yeah, it's front of house.
Yeah.
Oh, that's him doing the demo.
Or watching the demo.
Yeah.
No, he was watching the cinematic.
Yeah, well, that's what most people seem to be complaining about. That demo was just all cinematic and no gameplay. There's the custom-made PC.
Oh yeah.
And he's the winner of it, so well done.
Oh, is that okay? Oh no.
So NPCs.
What are they doing?
Jared. Just looking at the display. More
Oh,
cool
they had a
models.
Jericho model as well. Look at that.
Yeah. So I really like this because everything was to scale here.
Is it though? Is this Bengal that big?
Yeah. So see, they're all the. Yeah, the Bengal's that big. Yeah.
I guess because the javelin is supposed to dock in the middle. Yeah. That's cool. Really cool. People clapping.
Yay! Happy.
Yeah.
Stuff. Oh, it's the guy who
Kraken.
the Geon. He writes your name in Geon or whatever.
Oh, right. Linguist.
The linguist. Yeah, that's the word. I'll get the.
Why is it again a photo of this? More. Okay, cool. Yeah. Oh look, the guy has the ceremonial outfit.
Yeah. I think he was there last year as well. I
was.
recognize him.
Probably
Yeah.
no, it's not the first time I've seen it. Yeah.
Then there's that the Chinese Retribution by Phoenix again. Fantastic. And the fact that they brought it over, that's even more amazing, I think. And that's their wonderful Putalisar model. That's just, yeah.
Burrito. People clapping. People yelling.
People being happy.
People cheering. We don't know those people. I don't know.
Some organization. Oh yeah, it's the props department.
Props.
So yeah. We still don't know.
This is probably where they were. Yeah, so this is probably where they were making those trophies. I assumed that we were going to see it being made, but I guess that was.
Well, nobody was streaming it. Nobody was over there looking at it.
No, but neither was CIG paying any attention to it at all.
We did get an image of the trophy, but we don't know the other two items.
And somebody else shot that. That was not even communicated by CIG at all.
Right.
From no part from them did we hear anything about this this occurring here. They said that they were going to do this like live. Will be we will be modeled live at CitizenCon, and live I assume meant that we were going to see it being done.
Damn it, CIG! I paid $35 for those two little bits.
But then again, would we really watch that though? But at least they could have showed it in a short section, like, oh look, this guy been working on this, and you're gonna get this in your account.
We've known from the live streams that people are interested in this, model making and all, and whatever tool they use.
I don't get it really.
But yeah, I'm just disappointed that there's no mention at all of what the items are.
They're probably just not even going to mention it even in the future. And it's just like suddenly they're going to pop into your account and in a game patch. Be like, oh, there they are. Yeah.
They scammed us.
No, I think they're still being made because a developer is working on it. It's just
Oh
that
yeah,
they
but
probably won't even communicate it. It'll
when,
just suddenly be in a patch.
when I want it
Clap,
now.
clap, clap, and where else? Oh, that's the Chinese. Oh, good. I don't
Them
know
again.
those.
The Mad Runners. I like the whole concept of the Mad Runners. That's a cool idea. It looks like Atlas, is it?
Some org? No, no.
That's your org, isn't it?
I don't think it's them though.
Atlas, no? Unless there's another Atlas.
Because they had that ASOP terminal.
That's the community staff, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah.
What are they
I
wearing?
recognize. They're wearing some engineering thingy. I don't know.
That's all of
That's
them.
all the volunteers. Yeah. Woohoo!
Chris Roberts.
Chris Roberts promising.
Then I'm back.
There you go.
Nice photos. Yeah.
So
Oh god, I'm gonna have to watch all of them again.
you don't
Absorb all
have
the
to, but
information.
at
Nope.
least this is a good way. This point of reference. So if you ever need to go back,
Maybe in another year we'll look at it.
but then there'll be another one out.
Oh,
and then
that's what
all
I'm
this
saying.
will be
We look at
irrelevant.
it to compare it.
Oh no, I won't compare. That's just annoying. All right. So what else?
Oh, that's it. I think we're done.
Are we?
What? That's not so fast. Are we done?
Um,
No,
yeah, we're
look.
done.
You
Oh.
mentioned this. You put this in the Stars and channel.
I did.
No,
I did.
Innovis. He said
Oh, we already talked about it.
Tony Zervik took
Oh,
over Todd
Tony?
Pappy's position.
Oh yeah.
Is this a change that suddenly
Oh, yeah.
appeared on that website, or was it already
I don't
there
know.
before?
I was looking for something, and I came across that, and I just thought I'd post it.
Mm,
I'm like, it looks like, because that's what Todd Poppy was the director of Live.
EPU.
Yeah. So we've been asking the question: where is Tony Z?
Oh,
And
he's
what's
still
he been
there.
up to? So that's good to see that he's confirmed that he's still there. But it's interesting that he's taken over Todd Pappy's role.
Well, first of all, Todd Poppy chose not to relocate, so it was his choice to leave the company. It was
that was a while ago.
it was not a bad thing,
I
right?
thought he said he wanted to go back
So-
to Washington anywhere where he's from. So
Well, I have no idea, but it was his choice to leave. It's not that he wasn't able to do the job. I just want to clarify that. And it's a logical step to put Tony Z in that role, considering he was basically building out the whole economy of the universe from the back
Yeah,
end
sure, why
through
not?
to the PU. So his involvement is from resources to actual crafting and all that other stuff, and balancing the economy and everything. So he has a very good understanding of everything that has to happen from one point to the other. So it only makes sense from my perspective to put him in that role.
So does this mean now Austin is now looking after this, because he won't be moving from Austin unless he did move? I doubt he's in
Don't
Germany
know.
now.
I'm not speculating.
Yeah. It kind of opens more questions than anything else. What happens to his old role? Is this now merged into this? I don't know.
No, it's I mean, the economy. They have an economy team, right? And they're working on it, right? They're coming up with the numbers. They are working on StarSim. It's still being worked on, and I'm sure he has a direct input into all of that stuff. So I don't think it takes anything away from him being able to do that. It just gives him more input in other things as well.
So why don't we see him? We want to see Tony Z.
Oh, I forgot.
He's relaxing and reassuring.
I forgot to show this when we were talking about the Polaris. There's also the sneak peek.
The flying pizza slice.
Dorito.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Dorito.
You are good for landing.
It's a big ship. It will be my biggest ship when it comes out. Flyable.
Oh, so you're one of those one single flyer guys.
Yeah, he's gonna fly it on
Yeah.
So
random people.
that's going to be your daily driver.
Oh yeah. See that's why I talked the way I did at the beginning, because I thought about it going, okay, well, I'm not going to be able to do anything except fly, because I won't be able to get out of the seat quick enough to be any way effective. And even though I have friends, I don't want my friends near my ships, because they'll just make it, get their fingerprints all over it. And
I'm
get
going
their
to
skin on
sabotage the
floor.
fuck out of it. I'll
I'm
pull the
just-
fuses out of the tractor beam so you can't load the
I'm just
torpedo
gonna
tubes.
Ram you. That sounded wrong. So
I'm going to knock you out and stick you in one of the torpedo tubes and see if I can shoot you out it.
that'd be hilarious if you could. They're
Can
big
you
enough.
imagine firing dead
Yeah.
body
Dead
torpedoes?
body. Oh god, yeah. Absolutely hilarious.
Someone's going to beat me to it, I'm sure. Some streamer will beat me to it.
Indeed.
So what do you think? Notes. I think Halloween is now over. That event. I'm not sure is it over today or midday tomorrow. I'm not sure.
Hopefully we'll get Star Citizen live or inside Star Citizen this week.
Maybe. I wouldn't expect it though. We should get the 0.8 patch, the 2.8 patch this week. I think they're intending to try to get out this week as soon as possible.
Give us some freaking information about IAE already.
Why?
What's there to give us?
The official post dates, the schedule.
Well, we know the dates.
We know the schedule. We know what.
No, we don't know the schedule.
We don't.
We do. Oh, we do.
No, we don't.
Oh, you mean
we do.
leak.
It opens with Crusader.
Where's the image? Where's the image with the schedule?
It's in the game files, but
even in the PTU.
It's in the 0.3 game files.
Oh, if I don't see it, I don't know it. So
which is open to all. Well, that's
actually,
not
it's not in the
PTU
branch right now, so I can't download it.
Great answer. We
what?
released it. You think you know it all. You know it. Tell us. Go ahead.
The schedule?
No.
You want the schedule?
That's boring.
Yeah, I want the schedule because I want to know when I'm going to buy shit.
All right, hang on a sec. Give me a moment.
Oh God, wait.
You asked for it now. Where did I put it?
Free fly. You think they're gonna run the defense?
All right. Okay.
No,
Day one. Day 1, Crusader and Tumbril. Day 2, Aegis.
Oh.
Day 3,
wait. Aegis is.
Polaris. Not Polaris.
No. RSI is Polaris. I already have a Polaris. So we get the new.
So we get the
Crusader starter day 1.
Yeah. And the Tumbril. I'm not sure they're going to do anything there. No.
Yeah, I don't think we have anything new for Tumbril.
Aegis.
And what's next?
Planned. Aegis day 2. So I don't think there's anything there. 3 is Alien. 4
so
is
that might be. Would that be the Mirai?
No.
We're not going to get the heavy fighter.
Can I just say this to you? I've told you this a few times, and you need to get that into that lovely head of yours. Mirai is not Alien. Okay.
Oh, okay. What is it then?
It's MISC. It's always with MISC.
Okay.
All right. So, day 3 Aliens. Day 4 Origin. Origin, yeah. Origin.
Nothing new for Origin.
No. Day 5 RSI.
All right. So that's when they dropped Polaris.
Day 6 is Argo, Consolidated Outland, Grey Cat, and Kruger.
The Grey Cat vehicle, maybe.
Maybe.
Is there a
It's a
second one?
possibility. What we don't see yet is the hologram, so it could end up in the holograms.
Okay.
And we won't know that until the last couple of days beforehand. Day 7 is Drake.
We might. No, I don't think we'll see that
I don't think we'll
weird
see it.
ship.
Yeah, no. Day 8 is Misk and Mirai. So I don't
That's
know.
when we get the Star Lancer and the Heavy Fighter.
Yeah. Possibly, maybe a hint of the Fortune as well.
Oh, the Fortune. Yeah. The Fortune. 3
And
fucking
then-
ships in one day. Ow.
All in Misks.
Well, if they're behind their funding, so if they need to increase that, they have to throw everything now, including the kitchen sink, into the work. So
The what?
everything, including the kitchen sink, into getting more money. So
What's the kitchen sink?
it's a phrase basically. It means throwing everything at it.
I thought you were comparing it to a ship that's like a kitchen sink.
No.
Yeah, an LTI kitchen sink.
Yeah.
And then day 9 is Anvil.
Okay.
So that's
That
the
would be Terrapin.
Hornets.
And the Hornets.
The Hornets. So and the
Oh, the
Terrapin,
the medical terrapin.
yeah. Then next day is the Best in Show.
No, we know what that is.
So that's when you get your skins and your models and stuff like that, T-shirts, whatever.
For the Spirit, the Terrapin, the Reclaimer, and the F8C. Well, F8.
Uh-huh. And then the recap then for the next, I think, 2 days.
Yeah, they just keep the
3
Best in Show for on the rest, I think.
So, and that is from the 22nd of November to the 5th of December. And it is yet again
Tobin, yeah. New Babbage. What?
for the umpteenth time. So,
Very least they could have picked Area 18 just to switch it off.
I think they're keeping Area 18 now for Invictus.
Looks like it.
But
they did Invictus a couple of times at New Babbage as well, so it's weird.
They need to do Orison.
Well, Orison is a shit
Bring the
show.
place down to its
How the
knees.
hell are you gonna get a?
Oh, they've already done a show in Orison.
No, they did, but it was an FPS shit show, so I don't know.
What do you mean it was an FPS shit show?
Oh, well, it's like the frames, I remember, were tanking like a lead
Oh.
balloon.
And it was already even far outside of.
Maybe they push it.
Initially, yeah, they did that on purpose already. So they're placing it far outside of Orison's main. Like outside of all the buildings that you're at. Because it was like a 3-minute flight on that tram shuttle thing to get there. Two, maybe 1.5, whatever.
And their tagline is "The Next Frontier." So obviously that's
reference to Pyro and everybody else.
And I think we talked about this last week. So the 4 sets of skins popped up.
The final next frontier.
Yeah, frontier. And there's skins also in the game files that are associated with Pyro factions. So we still don't know. Do you buy them, or is that rewards for being a part of a faction and doing certain things? I don't know.
Okay.
So yeah, apart from that, I don't think there's anything else. So it's going to be relatively tame over the next few weeks, I think. Hopefully. Maybe the whinging will now calm down a bit, since our expectations has been readjusted for 4.0 and beyond.
As soon as they put the NDA back on 4.0, watch. Watch.
It's a good distraction. So keep it. No, don't do the NDA. It's a good distraction.
No,
so
they're gonna put the NDA back on.
They don't have pretty shit to watch up.
If they're gonna add more stuff, it's gonna get buggier. So
like what? No. It's just weird.
Well, Well, if they're actually going to add missions and stuff like that,
Hmm.
you know.
Boxes
do it.
always pay.
Do it now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. See you next time. Then we'll go. Thank you all for being here.
And I will say goodbye.
Good.
Good boy.
Bye. Good.
Bye now. Bye more.
Bye. Always.
I
Bye
support the
more now.
monkeys.
Bye and be
Do
happy.
you? Check out The Base, 24/7 online radio. Oh yeah! Visit us at TheBase.sc. They're professionals.
Hello.
Hi. We're being invaded. Help us.